Our final lightning talk of Hackcon is consistency and focus, all you need from Anirban. Come on up.
This is a bit about myself. In short, I'm a computer science student. I'm pursuing a master's degree in that domain at Northern Arizona University, which is in Flagstaff, Arizona, high up in altitude in the mountains. Anyone from Arizona? Can I have a raise of hands? Oh, there's one. Right, so most of you did not experience a good sunburn. But anyways, I am also a GitHub campus expert for my university, which is again NAU. Yeah, those are my GitHub campus experts and fellow friends who have been here with the journey for me. And the second and third points are just some layover things, but I decided to include them or plug them in, like shamelessly rather, just because I wanted to give some supplementary facts about me, which may help you to decide that I have, in fact, been focusing on my domain, you can say, which is computer science. Right. And I actually noticed, like from the lightning talks yesterday, that most of you had some really cool pictures from maybe hackathons you did and group photos that you were like either bombing in or like having a good time at. So I just wanted to say, even I have pictures. So here you go. Here are some pictures from my time at NASA JPL recently. And this is a short Git and GitHub introductory session that I conducted for my university long ago. But the point here I wanted to make is because I'm not going to be biased, I'm going to be honest, and that is I'm focused more in my career, and that is like sometimes a bit selfish, but going more so that I can learn more and teach more to my community, which is comprised of both undergraduates and graduates. And I've been doing a lot less of the bottom lately, but I know like most of the people, like the audience here is like, or our hackathon organizers, and you guys are more into the stuff that goes below. So I'm going to be talking about consistency and focus, but for the one above, like what I do for my career. And just like a few points from a do's and don'ts kind of perspective. All right, so one thing I do usually is when I write blog posts and I need to share them, because I tend to be very verbose, like I have very long set of paragraphs, and then people want an abstract, a TLDR, right? So I just send them that so as to give them an idea. And for slides, I'm not really sure what to do that, but I guess one thing, like if you have a goal, then one meme which I usually follow and which everyone probably have looked at, and that probably gives this conclusion, is this. Like just do it, right? Like why are you waiting? Why are you wasting time doing other things? Just go there and do the thing that you want to do. But that does not come to be that obvious anytime, and sometimes your motivation droops out. You have distractions, which I'm going to talk about, and you have stuff which comes in the way of your goal, and you try to like navigate around those obstacles and finally reach the end goal. And that's not easy. I can feel that as well. Right. So I do not have a concrete step of or set of steps which will work for everyone in a generalized fashion. But then I do have like two steps. One is general in the sense because everybody has distractions. For me, it's playing video games. And I like more of like the games where you can explore out and have some fun, like adventure stuff. Like even when we arrived at Hackcon, we are given quests, right? First, find your cabin, wherever the hell that is, and then go here, find some people, ask them some silly questions. Like you have quests everywhere. So that kind of interest that keeps people grinding on or on the hook is something which I find to be very much there in games, and that distracts me a lot. And yeah, first of all, try to eliminate those distractions very early on. Like you might have noticed the last minute prep for exams or whatever that goes on, like for interviews. But the distractions, then, if you like do not eliminate them early on, they tend to pile up, and every day you feel a sense of commitment to like, for me, like to get away, like play games for a bit, make a bit of progress, whatever that is. But you should really avoid that from an early point so as to not let it happen or like be an obstacle in the longer run. And eventually they become addictions, and they can be anything else, but then they do tend to harm you, and you do not realize that at least until a very long point in the future. And step two is to take notes from your own observation, because I cannot speak for everyone. Everyone's experiences are different. And then you'll have your own path, you'll have your own ways of sharing a story, navigating through, and also making your, what do you call, goals and stuff aligned to what you're doing in your daily lives. Now, so list your do's and don'ts. That's what I'll do. Like, take some pen, paper, write those down, and make sure you go through them on a daily basis. So I'll share mine. So these are some don'ts that I would recommend you to do, but then this is from my view. So don't stop pushing. And that is like when I get something like a good internship or whatever I would get to be like happy about, I will still keep pushing, like keep looking out for new opportunities and keep applying, like not forgetting that the time is gonna pass soon and that you'll have to again think about it in the future. And don't build regrets, like they also stack up like your distractions. And it's just better to let it go if you're unlucky in the case, but otherwise, if you did something wrong, then you can, in fact, give some introspection and then take notes and try to avoid that, make the correct decisions the next time you encounter the same situation. And lastly, or not lastly, like third point, that is get ahead of yourself. And I mean this in the sense that, again, time. So if you are like devoting time to something and then something pops up like a very good opportunity, maybe another event or talk that you're given to speak at, then you'll have to make sure that you can devote that time and actually commit to it. Like you have some current work and you're not sure. So try to make that decision very wisely. I would say that. And also, half knowledge is dangerous. So if you learn something, learn it completely. And this might not be clear, but wake up to just try to sleep for days at a stretch. In hindsight means that you should always make some progress every day. So if you have some goals, do not just wake up and do something else and not do anything about that goal. And that's for a longer period of time. Now, obviously, I know like most people sitting around here won't go for like, let's say even like planets to align or something like that. But then you must keep track of your time. Like if you're not doing something which is very much inclined towards your goal, then keep track of your time and keep reminding yourself. Maybe it's really good to have a friend or someone else who's pushing you. But then I can understand if there are times like that. And sometimes you have to go on vacations and stuff, so it's not like every day you can focus. But yeah, make sure to keep the reminders coming in. And lastly, don't multitask and end up overcommitting on the side quest. So I'm pretty sure like each one of us have more than one thing that we're good at. And so we end up multitasking. But more often than not, we end up overcommitting or spending time on the things that we do not actually want to do in the long run. So yeah, you have to make the distinction yourself, and that is hard. Right, so these are some do's, and they are longer just because I didn't include a meme. But then cultivate interest in the like following content. For me, it's just YouTube videos that I watch. And then stay engaged with communities, leverage open source ones. So I used to be a contributor at Stack Overflow. That is very good, as I believe, because they provide strong criticism. And then Discord as well is a good place. Like wherever we can find programming channels, like if you're interested into that, or like community building blocks if you're interested in like organizing hackathons and stuff. And then, yeah, find a room or place where other people can actually challenge you instead of just giving the high praise at any time. Like you need a lot of criticism, a lot of challenges, and there's a quote like not finding a room where you're the smartest person. Well, that's fine in some sense because you do not necessarily need to be that, or like you need to stay with all people around. But the thing is, if you want to grow, then you need to like change rooms and then have an environment where you can actually develop yourself for the better. Like it's also better for a community again. Then finally, this hashtag thing, their mighty things come from JPL, like that's their motto. So that is level up. Like when you reach your goal, finally that is, you need to have something like which goes beyond that. For me, I was writing flight software code, test code for Ingenuity, the helicopter that was attached to the belly of Perseverance, the Mars rover. And I was trying to think of ways to like improve that as much as I can, which is far more better than what I was doing previously, like my small-time project goals, which not many people use on GitHub really. But then yes, just try to like go for a higher goal each time you achieve something that will help you to grow really. Like you are not stuck there sitting and like, oh, I'm happy with what I've done. So yeah. And then lastly, have patience on top of consistency. Just because like you can be consistent, but you might not see results, but that's okay. So one of my fellow campus experts who gave a great talk yesterday, Manuela, said like make progress and it doesn't have to be perfect. So that's very true. And there's also a very similar thing that I wrote for a blog. Again, might not be very clear because I tend to be a bit jargonish. So I wrote there like patience is a superpower, and it works even better than a bogus art, which works every time. Basically, you don't have to be perfect, but then if you are patient, then results will come. You just have to like wait for that. All right, I guess I'm done. But anyways, I wanted to thank Juan Pa, like from the GitHub the education team and the entire team, to be honest, like GitHub campus experts who have been there for the journey, and my bunker mates, of course. Yep, thank you.
Thank you.